Alright, sup guys, this is Playground Gaming here with one of my best friends, Warhawk X015, or better known as Brandon. Brandon, give a short introduction on yourself.
Alright, well I'm just a amateur gamer, just loves what I do and play for fun. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about what we think on a few topics.
Yeah, the main thing we're going to be talking about today is competitive gaming and how it might roll on into the future. Brandon, what's your favorite games?
I would have to say, hands down, it'd be Halo 4, Halo 3. I'm a big Halo guy, but I can play some Call of Duty once in a while, no bias. Love me some Skyrim too, though.
For sure. As you guys probably know, I'm a big League of Legends player, but I also like playing Halo with Brandon, and Bioshock Infinite was my favorite game. But multiplayer-wise, I think my favorite will either have to go to the Battlefield franchise or League of Legends. And both Halo, League of Legends, Call of Duty, I'm forgetting a few, but anyway, they all have very large competitive scenes. League of Legends probably bigger than them all, as in the League of Legends Worlds having a cup over $2 million for the winning team last year. Now, me and Brandon were talking, is there a place for competitive gaming in television or other sports outlets? And we were debating that, and we're not really sure. So, what are your thoughts on how competitive gaming might show up onto the scene of television or other like sporting things like ESPN or something like that?
Well, I think over the past 10 years, gaming has significantly grown in popularity. It's becoming a more and more serious subject. Like, people are taking it really serious. It's got a huge community. The gaming community is huge, whether it be PC or console gaming. It's tremendous how much it's grown. Well, do I think it would be televised one day? I think absolutely. I mean, we already see reality shows already trying to kind of implement gaming into their TV system. I can't remember what the game was. The Ultimate Gamer that came out about maybe 2012, 2010. It's a reality TV show that kind of took place with gamers who would all come together and to compete for seasons at a time. And I thought that was really cool, but that was just kind of like only the beginning of what the possibilities would be.
Okay, and like you said before, you're a big Halo fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how can you see games like Halo and other first-person shooters that are a little bit less strategy-based being as popular as the big-name MOBAs as in Dota and League?
Well, it's hard. When you have the consoles are slowly but surely improving into what their capabilities are, but as of right now, the PC just kind of has a bigger advantage on what you can do with it. There's more controls, hence giving you a bigger realm of possibilities in what you can do. Where I think Halo games such as Halo could go is maybe start implementing on the next-gen systems I mean, there's all kinds of different factors. It's really kind of hard to say right now with what we know, but I think you could start implementing games, the other successful games, console games, and you can kind of implement those into the original games, change it up a bit. And I know that's what Halo's actually trying to do right now. I haven't actually seen first-handedly what the new Halo game, Halo Guardians, is going to have in store for the competitive game community, but it's going to be something very interesting. I know they're implementing side movements and a lot of three-dimensional movements.
So more mechanically intense.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot faster.
There's a bigger skill curve and stuff
exactly,
like that.
And I think the skill curve is the big difference between console gamings for first-person shooters such as like Halo and Call of Duty as opposed to League. One game, it's really easy to just kind of be accurate, but even so, there's certain situations that no matter how accurate you are, you're not going to get out of. While in League, it's like almost like playing chess. You can be a few steps ahead of the next guy and strategically defeat your opponent. While in games such as Call of Duty and Halo, it's just who's got the quicker draw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Because I know games like the MOBA gameplay. It's 40 long minute games, and the smallest thing at the beginning of the game can roll the whole game over and just snowball into something out of control. Whereas something like you were saying in first person shooters, they aren't exactly the most mechanically intense and don't have the largest skill gap. It's mostly just being really responsive and having real good motor skills and functions. Whereas in League, where that's definitely required for those clutch situations, but it's more about in the long run. And so, in the way of seeing these games on TV, I think MOBAs will be seen on televised events more soon than any first-person shooters, because the first-person shooters only last about a year until the next one comes out. Except in the Halo case, it's every 2 or 3 years, right?
Right.
Yeah, the big Call of Duties come out every year, which they're getting repetitive. I'm not sure how much longer those are going to last. But anyway, I know there's a competitive scene for each one of those games, and it's kind of hard to get the best of the best players when the game's changing every so often. Whereas in the MOBAs, it's the same game with minor alterations throughout it, so people can get really good at the one game. And so you see these teams in the LCS, League Championship Series, that have been the same or changing up, and you can grow and like players on certain teams, and then you can root for teams, whereas, and I'm not entirely sure how the professional scene works in first-person shooters, but it doesn't seem like there's as strong as a team thing as in the...
Yeah, actually, first-person shooters, honestly, unless you're in a party or you're with some friends and you're communicating over the mics, it's just every man for himself. And I mean, that type of playstyle, it's fun if you just really just want to look out for your own stats, whatever works. Everyone has their own preference. But I mean, unless you're really serious about the game with your friends and everything, it's really hard to get that communication factor in a first-person shooter. While on games such as League, I've noticed, I don't play the game so much myself, but by watching gameplay, it's really apparent that you see that the really successful teams, they use teamwork, and they use all kinds of strategic methods to defeat their opponents.
Yeah, like power plays and stuff like that.
Exactly. Stuff like that does exist among like specific clans in the Halo community and Call of Duty community, but not quite to the same level. I noticed that, by it being a first-person shooter, unlike League, it's really hard. You get tunnel vision. There's not really a big perspective of the field around you. It's really just what's right in front of you. You can use your radar, sure, but it's honestly that third-person view just gives a different feel of the game, a different advantage when it comes to just understanding and adapting to your surrounding environment.
Okay, yeah. And then for how do you think we can get people like that aren't into games, people, anything related to video games as nerdy? How do you think we're gonna that will translate into seeing it on the professional scene, like on the televised scene? Because I know there's going to be a lot of hate for it too, because people are just seemingly don't want to accept that video games are part of culture now. I mean, some people. I mean, even Steven Spielberg is in in Halo, right? He's
he directed the pilot episode for the new Halo series.
Yeah, video games are becoming a part of social realities. They give something to the player that movies or TV shows can't quite offer. But as in multiplayer, it's really more of a case of you being able to do what that professional did, or attempting. What you can do, I know in League, you can watch something and then directly translate it into your own play. I think it's something different than watching like a professional sport like maybe football. I mean, after high school, there's really not that many options to play football other than in intramural leagues. Whereas in video games, you can just hop on whenever you want. You don't have to wait for a game or anything else. You can just get on and play and then watch the competitive events and then implement that into your own play. And that's why I think competitive gaming will be so successful.
Well, it's just exactly. The convenience of technology nowadays is far surpasses what it was even 10 years ago. Just by seeing something that you can do physically is a totally different thing that you can do just by getting on the internet, hop on, watch a little bit of a tutorial, and then boom, get right into your game. Mm-hmm. Just like that. Boom, you don't need to warm up, you don't need anything. You just hop right into everything. And it's becoming a lot more simple to just go into the video games than it is to play actual sports. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm an athlete myself. I enjoy playing sports and physical activity, but let's be realistic. Gaming is a lot easier to just relay messages and learn, and it's so much quicker learning curve than what it is to physically do something.
Yeah.
Which is why it's actually a very controversial topic when it comes to bringing this kind of stuff into a professional, competitive level, including TV and having their own actual leagues where people compete amongst each other worldwide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as I said before, the LCS, the Worlds, people from every server, Asian server, West Europe, Oceania, North America, South America, China, countries from around the world competed for this one title. Granted, South Korea is the epitome of gaming elitists. Their whole premise behind gaming is that it is a sport. Like, they take that as seriously as anything else. I know in North America, NA servers, you get kids and trolls and people who don't really care about the outcome of the game. While in South Korea, it's a lot more serious of a tone. It's almost like every game you put your try-hard pants on. And so in North America, that's why we always fall behind in all these big tournaments with the Asian countries, is because they take the feel of the game is different. And so I don't know how popular competitive gaming would be, or intercontinental competitive gaming would be, if North Korea just smashes every team.
Or South Korea.
Do I keep saying North Korea?
You keep saying North Korea.
South Korea. North Korea is hacking people and making it all bad. Screw you, North Korea. Don't hack me.
Yeah, it's just, like they said, it's a more serious tone. But, I mean, everyone's going to have their own preference. Every culture is going to have their own views, even on things that we find as simple as gaming. For one, I know there's plenty of Americans who take it just as serious as South Korea does. However, I know there's a big portion of the gaming community in America that just wants to have a good time, just have fun.
Yeah.
And that element is what really keeps people interested in gaming. If it wasn't fun, no one would do it. So you got to keep things.
Yeah, that comes up a new topic of how serious do you want to be before it's no longer fun. There's, granted, first-person shooters and other games where the games only last about 10 minutes is a lot different. And then you screwing around isn't going to screw the whole game. I mean, you might lose the game for your team, but your teammates can still have a fun experience. Whereas in League or other very team-based games, if you screw up, the entire team is pretty much screwed unless they'll carry you off your ass and pick you up, and they're just a general better player than the other team. So it's really comes down to how serious do you want to make it, how much fun do you want to have, and how good do you want to be. Because video games is another thing that you can come up from nothing, being a total shit player, and carrying yourself up to the best players in the world. And so it comes down to competitive gaming is fun to watch. It's fun to watch that caliber players to play. Like, you agree with that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's something different watching people that good play the game. But another thing is, you don't want to take that game too seriously. It is just a game, as in you don't want to watch football too religiously, baseball, soccer. It's a game, and you don't want it to become your life. If you choose it as a career, that's another thing. But if you're just playing the game, don't make it a life.
Yeah. I don't play too competitively. When I say that, I mean I don't play at the MLG level. But I find myself getting irritated at times. I have to remind myself, I'm just...
hand to count.
Yes, yeah, I have to admit, I'll get really pissed off when I play sometimes. And then I have to remind myself I'm just having fun, or I just have to turn it off. And I come back when I'm more level-headed, and I typically do a lot better then. But at the time, you won't accept failure, and you just get pissed off, you'll play worse.
There's two ends of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
Victory or defeat.
Victory or you just get your ass kicked sometimes, and you just don't know what to do. Like, you wish you could really just punch that other guy on the other team that's really
right in the nuts,
ruining your day, But even though those negatives, I guess you could say, it's still a really fun part of gaming. Yeah. By being able to troll and stuff, and it's like, then think about it later, wow, that was ridiculous, or, I don't know what I was thinking, or what I was saying, that was crazy, it's a real fun time, and it's a real fun experience to go through with your friends and everything. It's just, the gaming community is just becoming such a huge part of just the world, especially, but America alone. It's just becoming a huge part of just the way things are. And I think when it comes to seeing this kind of thing on TV, it's really just a matter of time. As each generation gets introduced into this era of technology, it's becoming a more accepted thing. It's really just a matter of waiting for that next generation to come and keep coming until soon. It's just going to be a part of everyday life, which, in some people's opinions, it already is. It's just a gradually growing thing, and it's just going to continue to expand. And every year they come out with something new. It's just going to wow the gaming community. Just win them over, and then soon enough, you just got all these different games kind of blending different things together, creating something a little different, always keeping the people interested. And then eventually, it's going to be on a level that we can't even comprehend right now. So I'm really looking forward to what gaming has to come in the next decade.
Yeah, same. I'm really looking forward to seeing the advancements in gaming. All right. Well, thanks for coming, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. That's all for today, guys. Tune into the next edition of Rantcast and Playground out.